Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. So today I am gonna be talking about fragrances for Halloween, but with a little bit of a twist. I know I promised to talk about Barenia, which is the new fragrance from Hermes, but then it came upon me that we are in immediate proximity to Halloween. Halloween is tomorrow. So I decided to make a video dedicated to Halloween, but I decided to make something a bit different, not this kind of your usual top 5 fragrances for sexy witch for Halloween, like something different. So this is gonna be a video where, well, I made my research, Google research, nothing fancy, where I looked into herbs, flowers, fruits that were used in witchcraft, and I decided to show you the fragrances that have these notes in a very, very prominent manner. So these are the fragrances that have this note, and this note is very, very evident. And I'm gonna be also reading out what exactly this particular herb or a plant was used for. So it's not gonna be a full review of this fragrance because I do have 13 fragrances, but it's just gonna be a couple of words about the fragrance and the note, and that it's very, very prominent. Anyway, let's get started. So the sea salt. The sea salt was used for protection and cleansing. So I decided to show you this fragrance, which is Paco Rabanne, and this is Olympea. This is Olympea Legend, and it has a very, very prominent note of sea salt. Actually, all Paco Rabanne Olympea flankers, they do have some kind of salt. It has salt or sea salt, and this one is no exception. The sea salt is quite prominent. Now, I don't really like salty fragrances all that much because they smell funny on me, but this one, maybe because it's very tropical, it's very, very like beachy, it's very summery, it kind of, the salty note is actually adding to it rather than taken away from the fragrance. So it kind of, it doesn't let this fragrance to become sweetened, cloying, and just your ordinary summer fragrance. Such a beautiful gem of a fragrance, beautiful, beautiful, and yeah, sea salt. So the next one is Verbena, and Verbena was used or is used because I don't know, I don't practice witchcraft, and so I have no idea about all this. So the Verbena is used for protection, for purification, for healing of depression, which is actually no no wonder, because when you just smell this fragrance, is so vibrant, is so interesting, is so, it gives you this vitality. So probably it kind of helps with depression when the person is a little bit down, is a little bit you know, sad. So this is a very cheerful fragrance, and this is Riviera Verbena by, oh my gosh, this is by Nicolai. So, and this is a beautiful fragrance because apart from Verbena, it has a lot of other herbs, it has a lot of other citrus fragrances. So it's kind of, I'm gonna tell you that it's kind of your typical spring to early summer fragrance. That's exactly how French Riviera smells like, or Italian Riviera for that matter, because it's very citrusy, it has some cedarwood, it has this kind of freshness, very beautiful fragrance, unisex, absolutely. I love this one, such a brilliant, brilliant fragrance. So the next one we have lavender, and lavender is used to remove fear, to ease the tension, and it is used to create the peace of mind. which again, no wonder, because people nowadays, they use lavender to, you know, to infuse the tea before you're going to bed, so it has this kind of calming effect on a person. And this one is the Bloom of Rose. Well, this is Guerlain Bloom of Rose, and I'm not a huge fan of roses, but here we have this very fresh, almost green rose, and we have this lavender, but it's not overpowering. You have this freshness, you have this kind of almost frosty feeling, because lavender, it has this kind of quality that it smells. It gives you this fresh and kind of cooling effect. And the lavender, you can still smell the lavender, but it's not yet the lavender that's gonna be overwhelming, overpowering. It's I mean, lavender for me is quite difficult to love and to wear, and not this one, but another fragrance by Dolce & Gabbana, which is called Feminine. It has quite a prominent note of lavender, but because of that fragrance, I fell in love with lavender, because I understood that lavender actually can be beautiful in fragrances, because lavender is fougere, so it's sometimes it's very, very earthy, sometimes it's very, very it's very difficult for me because it enters my nostrils and it kind of drills my brain, because it's very strong. But this one is not strong, maybe because it has this kind of green rose, maybe because it has quite a huge dose of citrus, but this lavender, this kind of a slight aromatic feeling to this fragrance, plus this kind of cooling feeling, is such beautiful fragrance with the lavender that it's not really gonna give you any trouble. So the next one, and I have to admit that I was surprised to realize that this particular thing was used in witchcraft: orange peel and orange flower. Well, orange flower, yeah, okay, but the orange peel, I was like, well, it's curious. So it says that orange peel and orange flower attract abundance, luck, love, and happiness. Well, again, about happiness, I'm quite sure that it does, because in me, immediately, when I smell this fragrance, when I smell fragrance of mandarin orange or orange, it gives me this vitality, this happy feeling. So what is better than this one? This is Arancia di Capri, so this is Orange of Capri by Blue Mediterranean. So it's like Acqua di Parma, but it's their line that is slightly cheaper and it's more like monochromatic. It's almost about this one note. Well, the pyramid in this fragrance is quite complex, to be honest, but you almost exclusively feel the orange here. So this one is beautiful. It is orange, people. It is orange. It is kind of bitter orange and then sweet orange. It's both orange, and I do love the scent. In fact, I do love all of these Blue Mediterranean scents, because even though there's some scents like cypress scent, it's very woody, but in some way they make these fragrances to be fresh and attractive, and maybe not so much concentrated, so you can actually appreciate this woodiness and it's not very heavy. Yeah, this like is the orange peel. It's the orange and the orange peel all together, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful fragrance. The longevity of this fragrance is not the thing that I'm a fan of, because I have to admit that the longevity of these Blue Mediterranean fragrances is not best. Well, 3 to 4 hours, which is actually not that bad, considering that these are not very longeve fragrances. I mean, I would obviously prefer these fragrances to last much longer, because I love them. And one of my favorite ones in this line is with the fig. I love the fig. so much. So next one is Patchouli, and pretty much I'm sure that this is the fragrance that I never talked to you about. Well, I might have shown you in a video, but I never talked about this fragrance. So this is Patchouli Aromatique, and this is by Lancome. This is their kind of higher end version of fragrances, Maison Lancome. And so Patchouli is a thing to attract money. It's also good for spirituality. It creates a peaceful bubble around you. It's very calming, and it's also lust, so kind of love, lust, all this kind of thing. So it's kind of um I'm not saying that it contradicts one another, but it's calming, and then it says that it's lust and love. I mean, but okay, I'm not a witch, I cannot say it. But this one, this Patchouli is a very beautiful one. Patchouli can be difficult, I have to tell you that. Quite a long time ago, I was very fond of patchouli, and I had an aim to try as many patchouli fragrances as possible. And the majority of patchouli, especially in fragrances that are niche fragrances, it was so overwhelming, such an overpowering patchouli accord. Some of them were earthy, some of them were like wet, some of them had this feeling that you're somewhere in a dungeon, and it's not very nice, not very appealing for me. But this one is just beautiful. It's really an aromatic patchouli. It has such a prominent aromatic quality, like herbal quality to it, and then it is green and very calming and very soft and very warming. So this one is beautiful. I feel like I don't wear it enough. I mix it with something else, because I have to tell you, in all honesty, I do love this fragrance, but in all honesty, it's kind of monochromatic for me. It starts with this herbal patchouli, and it ends with the herbal patchouli. So there's no, it doesn't evolve. It's kind of static, this fragrance, which is not bad. It's just that I wanted to something more. So that's why I usually layer it with something else. So next one is a fragrance that is wait, did I mix something? No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't mix anything. So rose, and I'm not a huge with roses. I don't love roses. Some types of roses, they just give me headache. They are very overpowering for me. It is just some fragrances, I just can't stand them. I can't stand the rose. But with time, I learned kind of how to appreciate roses. I do love this kind of green roses or white roses, and for me it's very important that the rose is kind of watery, or like it has a little bit of kind of dew drops on it, so it's kind of fresh, and so this is just this kind of rose. So this is the fragrance by Lancome, and this is the fragrance, this is Idole. This is a classic Idole. Don't mind the thing that is like here, this overspray. This is Emily in Paris, a limited edition, but the fragrance is Idole, it's classic Idole. So what does the rose do? The rose is good for love, for healing. It's actually very very good to strengthen the friendship, and then the friendship might eventually become a very close friendship, maybe some intimate friendship. Anyway, beautiful fragrance. I have to tell you, when it came out, this fragrance, I was like, well, it's just another one, another rose, another freshy rose. for every day. And I never said that this is a bad fragrance. I just said that it was underwhelming, which I am, in all honesty, I still believe that it's kind of an underwhelming fragrance. And that's why this fragrance is so good for everyday use, because you really don't expect much from this fragrance. It's a little bit of rose, it's a little bit of musk, it's a little bit of this kind of bergamot, this kind of zestiness in the beginning. So it's very easy. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to apply. It's very easy to to go from day to night, because you just add a couple of sprays and you're good to go to a bar with your friends. So it's just a fragrance that it stands behind you. It doesn't attract that much attention. It's just nice and pleasant fragrance, which I kind of appreciate, because the rose here is not overpowering, which I love. So the next one is sage. Sage is used for purification, for cleansing, for protection and for healing. And I do know that some people actually, even those people that don't believe in witches and witchcraft and don't practice all this, they burn sage at home to purify the premises. So this is probably the best fragrance that I could ever find for this purpose. This is the Grain de Poudre by Yves Saint Laurent, and it has sage, and it also has this violet accord. So this is the fragrance that I love to call like your kind of greeny everyday fragrance, your beautiful crisp white shirt, but kind of everyday fragrance. It's herbal, but it's not too much herbal. It has violet, but this violet isn't like dusty, because sometimes violet can be dusty. This is such beautiful fragrance. It is very elegant. It's just an elegant workplace appropriate beautiful fragrance, and it has such a prominent note of sage, and even the color is like that. So yeah, this is the sage. So next one is a chamomile, and the chamomile, I'm an old school person. I love to write my notes with my hand. So the chamomile is good to for sleeping, for protection, for purification. It reduces stress. It is good for meditation and attraction of money, which I would never have said that, because for me chamomile is a very relaxing and calming flower, but attraction of money is something different. Anyway, again, I have nothing to do with witchcraft. I have no idea, so what they say, I do believe it. So yeah, and chamomile is this one. And this, oh my gosh, this is the fragrance that I fell in love with instantly when I first saw the commercial of this fragrance. And then I went out in the store and I tested it, and I was like, oh my gosh, but that's beautiful. And I know that it's Gucci. It's Memoir d'une odeur by Gucci. And so many people don't seem to have appreciated this fragrance, because it's very calming, it's very herbal, and the chamomile note is very prominent here. I myself, I don't like chamomile. I don't drink chamomile tea. I don't like it. I don't like the smell. But in this fragrance, because this is kind of a fragrant chamomile, I do love it. It has such a good effect on me. It really does have this calming effect. And I remember that I got this fragrance right in the middle of the pandemic. So I mean, we were all obviously stressed, and so this fragrance really, helped me to calm down sometimes when I was like, oh my gosh, all is lost. Yeah, so beautiful fragrance. Obviously it's not just about the chamomile, but as I told you in the beginning, these are the fragrances where these notes are very prominent. So it has a very distinct chamomile fragrance. And I have said that before, and I'm saying this now. In my opinion, Gucci took a huge risk releasing this fragrance in their kind of main line, in their luxury line, because I do think, even though I'm happy that they have released it in the luxury line, so more people have an access to it, as opposed to if they would have released it in their more expensive, more luxurious line, less people would have an access to it, me including, because it does really depend, it does depend on where you live. Some lines, they're just not available in the stores. So anyway, I'm really happy that they have released it, although I do think that this is a fragrance that belongs to that more expensive, more exclusive line. Yeah, in my opinion, that's it. Next one is Jasmine, and you know I love Jasmine. I am a huge white flower lover. So Jasmine is it's a said that it's a herb of attraction, love, and also money. Although I can't really, well, it is a herb, like, yeah, it's a flower, but it's herb, it's plant. Anyway, let's go with what is written here in my notes. Malone, Malone, and this is Jasmine, Sambac, and Marigold, and this is Cologne Intense. So the duration is a bit better than those in this kind of transparent bottles. Yeah, this is just as it says on the label. This is Jasmine and Marigold. I happen to love Marigold as well. I do think that Marigold is a very pretty flower. It's very understated, it's very underestimated flower. But in my opinion, Marigolds are very, very, very pretty. So it has this Jasmine Sambac, and this white flower is very, very distinct. You can actually feel it. And then the Marigold, it has kind of slightly bitter kind of smell. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful flower composition. I love this one, really, really nice one. And it's also very elegant, because I do know that white flowers, especially tuberose and jasmine, they can be quite difficult to wear because they have this indolic part to them. So this indolic part that smells like, sometimes it smells funky. In this composition, they do have this indolic part, but it is very elegant. It's not stinky. And next one is lilac, which this one, it took me by surprise. It was like, lilac, really, lilac? Yeah, lilac. And lilac is good for, supposedly good for wisdom, memory, and good luck as well. Well, the good luck as well I knew, because it's said that if you find a lilac flower, this little lilac flower that has 5 leaves, you're supposed to pick it up, you're supposed to eat it, and while you're eating it, you're supposed to make a wish, and then supposedly this wish will come true. So anyway, this is Fragonard, and this is lilac, because the Fragonard, which is the French brand from grass, they pick every single year, they pick a flower or a plant, and it becomes the flower or a plant of the year. So this year, this is the lilac, this is the year of the lilac, so they launched the lilac fragrance. And this is, oh my gosh, this is such a realistic lilac. And I remember when testing this fragrance for the first time, it was told to us, well, I tested it at Pitti Fragrance. It was told to us that lilac is very difficult. It doesn't really, you can't really extract any oil from lilac. So a perfumer has a very difficult job, a task, to create lilac fragrance. But since you cannot use any lilac oil because it just doesn't exist, the perfumer has to create a fragrance of lilac by tricking your brain into thinking that this is lilac, but in reality there's no lilac in this fragrance. There are fragrances and plants and flowers that remind you of lilac, when they are all together, but there's no lilac. I mean, it's mind-blowing. So lilac, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Lilac without lilac. Again, next one is a mint. Mint is, well, this I pretty much knew, that it gives energy, communication, vitality, protection, and again, money. This one is a beautiful fragrance by Acqua di Gioia, well, by Giorgio Armani, and it's called Acqua di Gioia, and it has quite a prominent, quite pronounced fragrance of this kind of minty note in the top notes, and this is what makes this fragrance beautiful and vital and like energizing, really. I like this one. Such a beautiful fragrance. Yeah, Acqua di Gioia. But I can tell you pretty much that I enjoy all Acqua di Gioia. I enjoy all fragrances from Armani. This is one of those brands that, for me, they can't do wrong. Some of the fragrances are more interesting, some are less, but I have never smelled anything bad from Armani. I am almost at the end of my list, so we have Bergamot, and what can be better than Accordi di Profumo by the Merchant of Venice, and this is Bergamot. It's just the Bergamot. This is Italian Bergamot, and it smells like a bergamot. It's very vibrant, it's very bright, it's very zesty, it's very green. It's like, oh, it's bergamot. So the bergamot is good for sleeping. I would never say that it's good for sleeping because it's so energizing, but I have to go with what is said here. Prosperity, money, protection from evil and from illness, and it is good for attracting luck and wealth. So yeah, beautiful fragrance. If you are a fan of bergamot, or if you are a fan of a particular note, particular plant, particular flower, and you would love to have it, this is one of the best options that you can find out there. This is the Merchant of Venice, and they do have, well, around 20, I think, at this moment, of this mono fragrances, and they are amazing, very beautiful. And I'm gonna end this video with cedarwood, and this one is a beautiful fragrance by Korres. Korres is brand from Greece. They make shower gels and body creams and face creams, all their cosmetics and face creams, and you know, is just fantastic. I have tried probably every single thing that they have, and I am a huge fan. So I do have this beautiful fragrance, which is called bergamot, white tea, bergamot, and freesia. But it is here for cedarwood, because cedarwood is basically a base of so many fragrances, and here this woody note is very prominent. It is very bright, and I do believe that the creator of this fragrance is Jean-Claude Ellena. So, and this fragrance is just absolutely mesmerizing. It's just such a good fragrance. And cedarwood is good for luck, strength, power. It is good for money and protection and healing. So basically, so many things are very good for like money, protection, and healing. Yeah, I don't know, I copied it from Google. Beautiful fragrance. Obviously the cedarwood is not in the beginning, it is towards the end of the fragrance. And I remember when I just first got this fragrance, I was absolutely smitten by it. Smitten, because it's white flower, and then it has a little bit of bergamot, but then the woody, very bright and warm woody part is what attracts me the most in this fragrance. Very beautiful one, and so it's yellow here and then it's white here. Very nice one. So I do hope that this fragrance video was interesting for you, and I hope that if you are going to the party, you will party all night and you will have good time. And I thank you for your attention. I wish you good day and beautiful Halloween evening, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.